I think Amon-Ra St. had a really underrated rookie season, and I kind of want to just jump into the film and talk about what he did so well. You know, the numbers are good, the advanced stats or just traditional box stats are good. I think his tape is good, and let's start off with a pretty simple play. It's going to be him going up against man coverage, running the route you see on the screen, which can be good against this type of coverage. Again, it's going to be a sort of a true one-on-one matchup, and, you know, him being the receiver who is currently lined up furthest away from the sideline, but going to be running closest to the sideline, can definitely help as there's traffic in front for the defensive back to try and, you know, get through to cover St. Brown. But watch what's going to happen. Right when this play begins, what you are going to notice is that I think what Amon-Ra St. does so well, and this is a real trait that, you know, can be undervalued sometimes in wide receivers, might be part of why he did fall so much, didn't get much attention in the draft, is because part of what he does well is stuff like this, where he can just run the stem portion of the route very well. This beginning part of the route, he does a very good job with. Because then watch how he cuts very well and is able to make the catch and pick up a first down right there. And these can be huge. I mean, this is on a third down, and he can be a big third down guy, and you need someone like that in your offense. You know, if you're going to have a complete offensive roster, you need someone who can do stuff like this. And if Jameson Williams can be what we think he can be, having him kind of be the deep threat with St. doing some of this stuff, could be really exciting. Going over here now, we have some stuff like this where it's going to be a cover 2 zone. And again, you see the way this concept can work. St. Brown's the one who I've circled in white. I've circled the player. And, you know, his route could get into a gap in coverage against this zone coverage, so that's, you know, how it could work. Look at how right when this play begins, you do see that, okay, there's a gap here, but it's going to be tough. For one thing, this is Tim Boyle throwing to him, so it's not even Jared Goff who can get him the ball, which is going to make things even more difficult, so you have that to begin with, although St. Brown's numbers were actually pretty good with Tim Boyle, which is surprising. Surprising that anyone's numbers were good with Tim Boyle, with all due respect to the great Tim Boyle. The reason I'm showing this play, however, is I do think there is a skill in just being the guy who gets the football, right? And it's not always necessarily because you are able to, you know, out jump someone or, you know, make these incredible diving catches. Sometimes it's just as simple as reading where the ball is, and that's what you're going to see Amon-Ra St. do here. Watch him. I mean, he just is able to put himself perfectly in position to make the catch. Neither the other Atlanta defenders could do so, and he ends up getting a touchdown out of that as well. Did a great job after the catch. So all of that stuff, I think, was very good. Again, you know, how much credit do you give to him to that? Do you give credit to Tim Boyle? Do you give, you know, blame to the Falcons defensive players? I'll give credit to him, you know, for somewhat at least. Now let's go over to something like this. So this is the concept that you see on the screen. Okay, you know, you can see what typically would work. Maybe this over the middle stuff, perhaps, and maybe even the halfbacks route. That, you know, a route that could work on paper, right? That's something that looks interesting. Kind of clear everything else over the middle and then hit the halfback. So why am I showing this play? Why would you care about, you know, a concept that could get the halfback open? Well, because guess where Amon-Ra St. is? Right there. Yes, he is the halfback on this play. He would line up as a halfback and then run routes out of it relatively often. In fact, the Lions used him, I think, creatively very well. I think as part of how he was able to have some success is because the Lions were creative in how they used St. Look, as you see, right when this play begins, he's now going to get wide open. You know, he ran it out well. This is also well schemed up. But now, instead of scheming up a play to get your halfback the ball, you're scheming up a way to get a receiver who you like and can do stuff after to catch the ball. Look, as you see, he makes the catch and is able to pick up more yards as well on top of that than maybe just a halfback running a route would have been able to do. Maybe not a ton more, but still, I think a good route by St. and it's kind of just interesting how they use him. They definitely are creative in how they will use him at times. They will have him do stuff like this, and it's not just stuff like this. You also have a play like this where they just can find ways to get him the ball at times. Look, I've circled him in black on the screen right there. Watch what he's going to do. As you see, he's going to take the handoff right here and does a good job after getting the ball, picks up a first down here. Again, a very good run by Amon-Ra St. So because he can, you know, do stuff like this, it just makes the offense a little bit better, you know. I'm not going to say he's a full Deebo Samuel type necessarily, but, you know, listen, there's a similar way and you can use him to that they can use in Deebo Samuel, or at least you can be more creative than a typical receiver might be the better way to phrase it with someone like him. Again, the vast majority of his snaps were just as a slot receiver, but we still saw him definitely, line up as in the backfield at times. Even he would occasionally line up in line, and even he has got to snap a quarterback. So there you go. One last play to talk about. We're going to talk about this one. So again, I think just a good job of showing kind of how his route running really comes into play. So the way this play works is there's two receivers lined up to the offense's right. One's running a go route. Amon-Ra St. Brown is running an out route. But right when this play begins, you cannot differentiate anything about those two routes, right? I mean, they looked exactly the same. And so because of that, you can't really know exactly what the concept is just yet. When St. Brown does cut, again, very good at cutting, makes a move, and even does a good job of, on the sideline there, picks up an extra couple of yards right there. So did a lot of good stuff, I think, for the Detroit Lions, and really shown that he can play and he can do several different things. And so because of all of that, I do think that this is certainly a very good find by the Detroit Lions that they were able to get later in the draft. So yeah, as a whole, I mean, he's someone who I think played well for the Lions, and I think was definitely a pleasant surprise. He's not someone who I think a lot of people were very high on, but it's kind of one way that maybe we could see him being successful is if he could be put in a position to succeed, and that's exactly what's happened with him. So it's very fascinating, and again, there's value in having a good slot guy, right? I mean, it's not like he's specifically a slot guy, but he's primarily a slot guy. He's primarily someone who's going to win in untraditional ways, maybe not someone who's just going to win on the outside, and that's why they went out and drafted Jameson Williams, someone who could maybe do that. But there's obviously a ton of value in guys who can just win in general. However you're winning, if you're winning, and that's good. So because of that, I do think that there's, again, a ton of value in someone like Amon-Ra St. Brown. And you do think about, listen, if some of these picks that they've had these past couple of years can really hit, Penei Sewell looks good. They just drafted two guys that are very hyped up prospects in Jameson Williams and then Aiden Hutchinson. If those two guys hit, this could be the beginning of a core that could be a really competitive unit for the next at least 4 years or so until they have to get paid, but maybe even more than that. So again, Amon-Ra St. Brown, a very good rookie season, really underrated rookie season. And in a world where it seems like every person says that their favorite receiver on their favorite team is underrated, I think Lions fans might be correct. I think Amon-Ra St. Brown actually is underrated, didn't get a ton of credit. But really, especially towards the second half of the year when he was kind of used the way that you would want to use him, things really took off for him and he looked really good. So that's kind of what I think about all of this. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.